horsepower. About a lot more. This is a stock motor still, stock gears. G'day, this is Adam from AVA Magnetic Levitation Australia, and this is another Mad Micro RC car mods video. And this one I'm actually a little bit excited about because the atomic racers are back in Australia, available in the shelves of selected RC stores. And the supplier that I mainly use, which is RC Garage, which actually helped me out with a lot of cheap ones and free ones of these at the start to get the channel going in the first place, have them in stock now. They're about I think 50 or 60 bucks, and they're under the name WLtoys L939 short course truck. So the body kit looks a little different, but essentially it's identical. There may be some improvements being a newer model, I don't know yet. I haven't yet got my hands on one. But they do come with a full proportional controller, servo trim adjustment, and you've also got a switch here where you can lock out the speed and have 5 different power level settings, or just go to full power. And has reverse, a little bit of a brake and everything like that. As far as I'm concerned, these are by far one of the best, most versatile, most resilient, repairable, modifiable RC cars in its size and class, because it has a servo and it really sets it apart. I've basically owned a bunch of them and I'm still mucking around with them now and still finding new things and things to try on them that I'm yet to do, that I'm still keen to do. It's just a matter of budget, time, parts and money and all that sort of stuff. Basically, this is, you know, what they look like, stock standard, ride height and everything like that. This one's wholly modified. It's basically got a carbon fibre rear axle. It's hollow, also has ball bearings. The motor's been pulled out and I've put in a much larger motor. Stock standard, they run like a 50,000 RPM, 7mm in diameter by 16 cordless brushed motor. I've switched that over for a 8.5 by 20. So yeah, and a bigger battery as well. So this car basically, I'll show you some footage of it really quickly, likes to do wheel stands. And every time we get the cars out and do a bit of driving, me and a friend or Dan with his dark side technology, this thing seems to come out. We always end up doing some wheelies with it, off the line mainly, and it just ends up being funny anyway, to us at least. So have a look and tell me what you think. This one probably. That's hilarious. If it's stationary, just floor it. I'll get it to turn corners. Yeah, I'll be there. Ah! Scared to move. Yay! Tell them, man, it's like a suicide machine. It's a lot of fun to try. The other car here, which I'll quickly show you, is a lowered atomic racer. It's had the same sort of power mods and bigger battery and everything done to it, but if I get this bit of heat shrink, if I stick it under the stock car, there's plenty of room and you can move it up and down heaps. If I stick it under this car, you can barely get it past. This car's been lowered, it's had a wider rear axle put in it, and pretty much most of the other mods that this one's had. The idea behind it is it's meant to be more of a track car, therefore being lower, less likely to roll over and stuff like that. It still does on carpet because these tyres are like unbelievably grippy. But that being said, it's a lot of fun and it's getting there. It's a sort of a work in progress, but take a quick look, tell me what you think in the comments. Let's see what the atomic racer can do. Monster truck! it's a fair match-up, sort of. Straight earth. Yeah, that's better. Don't load it up, now I can do it. Yeah, this is what happened the other night when I got it set. I could just flute it up and back move. Yeah, like that. Oh. Oh no. It's a lot of fun and it's getting fast. It may get its own video. That's the Atomic Racers, or sorry, I should say, WLtoys L939 short course truck. Before we move on, if I had to give this the good, bad, ugly, or unbelievably good rating, without a question of a doubt, these ones get the unbelievably good rating because they're so versatile. I don't know, they just seem to hold up so well. They're well designed and you can mix and match, hot them up, they can go faster. I think stock standard they do like 22 k's, but they get there in a heartbeat. Modify them, I think I've had one do about 46 kilometers an hour and I intend to go a lot faster. So anyway, that's that. The main focus of this video is power boosting. I want to see what happens if you get a stock standard style L939 short course truck and you boost it. I found on Hobby King, there's this little product here, and don't get me wrong, I'm not paid for by these people at Hobby King whatsoever. They haven't given me anything or helped me in any way. This is just a really good product I really like to try. If it works out, I'll say yep, get one for sure. If not, I'll tell you if it's crap, don't worry. This is a voltage booster. It's a product which you put in line with a single cell battery, S1 battery kit like that. And what it does is instead of getting like 4 or 4.2 volts from the battery, you plug it into this and you get 5 volts out the other side. Stable 5 volts at 2 amps until the battery gets too low and then it all cuts out. That being said though, there may be some advantages to running a car on 5 volts. And I'll quickly show you some maths I did that may or may not work out. So this is the boring bit if you hate maths. Stock standard, Atomic Racers or sorry I keep getting it wrong, L939 speed flux short course trucks run on an average of 4 volts 2 amps as far as I'm aware. So if you get that 4 volts times it by the 2 amps you get 8 milliwatts. Now don't quote me on these values at the end, but the end result is all that's really important, that there's a difference in the values. Boosted though, if you can run it at 5 volts and 2 amps, you take that 5 volts times it by the 2 amps, you get 10 milliwatts, which is like, you know, that's like 20% more than that. So, that being said, what other advantages would there be? You'd probably get more takeoff and you may get more top end. How would you get more top end? Well, I'm glad you asked. Stock, the motor does 50,000 RPMs on an average of 4 volts. So if you take that 50,000 RPM and you divide it by that 4 volts, you break it down in units of 1 volt. You'll see what I mean in a second. The answer is 12,500. So you can say 12,500 RPM, thereabouts, per 1 volt of energy going into the motor. That being said, if you boost it to 5 volts, then you can also say 5 volts equals 12,500 RPM times 5 volts, 62,500 RPM. Ta-da! So you may get more top end out of it as well. I'm not recommending you try this with a stock standard setup unless you intend to maybe change the motor or change to a different motor over time, because the candle that burns twice as bright also burns half as long. You start running a motor that's intended for 50,000 RPMs at 4 volts, 5 volts, and get it pushed to 62,000 plus RPM, you're going to burn it out a lot faster. So you will shorten its life. But if you step up to a bigger motor like I have in most of my cars, that probably won't be an issue. Ta-da! So that's the maths of it. Stick around, I'll try and do this as quick as I can, and hopefully we get a good result. If so, you know, like I said, this product could be really good. They cost like $5 or $6 or something. So, you know, the end result of this is, if it works, I'll open the car back up. I'll solder this directly to the board so that this is hidden inside the car, like that. And then I'll have an external battery lead like this and I'll just plug in batteries. This is like a whopping 200 milliamp hour. For an S1 it's a whopping C rating, 35 to 70 C, and I'll just plug that in and velcro it to the top of the car, and that way no one sees or knows that I'm running on 5 volts. The booster will be hidden inside the body of the car, and I'll just run external batteries or run a battery up on the bumper or something silly like that. Bob's your uncle, if it works. So there you go. So essentially what you'll be able to do, if this works, you'll be able to copy this. So you'll be able to put the board inside your car, external plug, batteries on top, race your friends. I don't know why my car's faster, it just is, and just because there'll be no other modifications to see. You won't have to do this plug at the back of the motor connection. So there you go. A lot of question marks at the moment, so let's just start soldering things together and see what happens when we put power to it. I'm really hoping for a result. Okay, I've put the car back together and it's time to do the baseline testing. At the moment you can probably see I've got the power lead for the battery, external. I've got the motor wire lead, which is just hanging in the air, and I've got the voltmeter connected to a false plug to the motor outlet, so that I can basically just take a voltage reading. The easy way to do this is just turn on the voltmeter, have it on a setting, 20 volts, so I can get a reading, plug the battery in. Okay, there we go. 4.25. Okay, this will be a baseline RPM test. Around 5,000, which is sort of what you expect stock. Okay, this is our first test with the voltage booster. I've connected the voltage booster basically in line with the battery lead, so it's basically battery, booster, board. Pretty simple stuff. Cross your fingers there's no smoke. Here we go. I do not know what's going to happen. This board may or may not be able to cope with this much power. Either way, we're about to find out. Okay, we're on. No smoke. Okay, controller's on. Now we're looking for 5 volts. Wow, 4.93, we got it. Good. Okay, this is the static RPM test at 5 volts. So we got about 5,800 RPM, which is a bit of a lift from what we had before, which, you know, given the wheel size and everything like that, that's, you know, an increase in kilometres, top end, power takeoff. I mean, you can hear how quick it winds out. It's definitely done something. So the fun part now is testing the car. Okay, so this is it on 5 volts. So I can say it's got a lot more power. It wants to rev out a lot more. This is a stock motor still, stock gears. It's definitely got more lift to it. To crash more. I'll take it outside somewhere and try it in a straight line in a minute, but yeah, without a question of a doubt, it's given it much more. It costs $5 or $6 to do this mod. However, there is one precaution you must take. When you do these conversions, do not try and charge the car with the controller anymore, or the USB. You've put in a battery which is an S1 unrestricted, and you must use the standard type S1 charger. You can get a USB style one for $5 or $6. RC Garage sells them or online. But yeah, it's definitely made a difference to the car. I'm scared to turn because it rolls over a lot. Grip the car below is a bit much for it. But you can get a standard car and put this in it, and race your friends, and your car will have a lot more go than theirs. The one precaution you should take with this modification, which I have noticed, is you have instead of a reverse, you've got a very slow reverse, which is fine. But if you're going forward and you slam it in reverse, you will actually cause an overload. Cordless brush motors have to have a feeding power back into the system, and that's basically what I think happens. You cause a shutdown, you cause an overload. I did it once, it didn't damage anything, but I wouldn't recommend you do it all the time. It does have a nice braking effect, but it feeds energy back into the system that you don't want. Now this battery's a little flat, and it's still got heaps more power than normal. I'm currently running it on a 200 milliamp nanotech, which has a really high C rating, which is perfect, you can see. But yeah, definitely got more go. It's got more top end on the carpet, so we'll take it outside in a straight line. what else you can do. But yeah, definitely a $5 or $6 modification is worth it for a bit of fun.